Welcome to Nature with Ray. Today we will be talking all about the weirdest and most amazing aquariums on Earth. Relax and learn something new with us. Imagine walking into a building and suddenly you're inside the ocean. Sharks glide overhead. A sea turtle judges your life choices. And somewhere in the distance, a child is screaming because a stingray looked at them funny. Aquariums are supposed to be calm, peaceful, educational. But the truth? Aquariums are full of bizarre history, ridiculous engineering, celebrity fish, and at least one octopus that escaped. Repeatedly. Today on Nature with Ray, we're diving into the strangest, biggest, and most fascinating aquariums in the United States and around the world. We're talking about the aquarium so big it has its own whale sharks, the tank that once cracked and flooded a hotel lobby, the jellyfish displays that look like alien discos, and the surprisingly chaotic history of how humans tried to put the entire ocean in a building. Because at some point in history, someone looked at the sea and thought, you know what this needs? A gift shop. So grab your imaginary snorkel, watch out for suspiciously intelligent octopuses, and let's step into the weird and wonderful world of aquariums. Georgia Aquarium, the tank that feels like an ocean. If aquariums had a final boss level, it would be the Georgia Aquarium. Located in Atlanta, this place isn't just big, it's absurdly big. When it opened in 2005, it instantly became one of the largest aquariums in the world, and for a while, the biggest on Earth. We're talking about millions of gallons of water, thousands of animals, and one tank so enormous it feels like someone stole a piece of the ocean and quietly placed it inside a building in Georgia. Which is a bold move, considering Georgia does not have whale sharks roaming its suburbs. Yes, whale sharks. The Georgia Aquarium is one of the only places outside of Asia where you can see these gentle giants. They're the largest fish in the ocean, growing up to 40 feet long, and they swim in a tank so massive it has its own viewing theater. Not a window, a theater. Visitors sit in stadium-style seating while whale sharks, manta rays, and schools of fish drift past like an underwater IMAX movie. It's peaceful, hypnotic, slightly humbling, and also the closest most of us will get to feeling like a plankton. But building this aquatic megacity wasn't simple. The main tank, called the Ocean Voyager, holds over 6 million gallons of water. Engineers had to design acrylic viewing panels thick enough to withstand the pressure of an entire ocean's worth of water pushing against them. Some of the windows are over 2 feet thick. That's not glass, that's a submarine wall. And transporting the animals? Also complicated. The whale sharks were flown in using specially designed transport tanks. Imagine boarding a plane and finding out your seatmate is a 20-foot fish. No carry-on, no snacks, just vibes. The aquarium quickly became one of the most visited in the world, drawing millions of people each year. But beyond the spectacle, it also became a major center for marine research and conservation. Still, let's be honest. Most visitors are there for that moment when a whale shark glides overhead and everyone in the tunnel goes quiet. Because for a second, inside that building in Atlanta, you're not in a city anymore. You're underwater. And it's magnificent. Shedd Aquarium, Chicago's indoor ocean. If you've ever stood on the edge of Lake Michigan and thought, wow, this lake is big, Chicago responded by building an aquarium that said, hold my plankton. Welcome to the Shedd Aquarium. Opened in 1930, the Shedd was one of the first inland aquariums of its kind, which means someone had the brilliant idea to bring saltwater ocean life to the middle of the Midwest. No ocean nearby, no coastline, just determination and an aggressive number of fish. At the time, transporting sea creatures to Chicago was an engineering nightmare. Early shipments of fish were moved by train in special temperature-controlled tanks. Water had to be monitored constantly. Oxygen levels had to be perfect. And imagine being a fish that starts its week in the Atlantic Ocean and ends it in Illinois. Talk about culture shock. The building itself looks less like an aquarium and more like a marble temple dedicated to fish. Massive columns, grand staircases, a domed interior. It feels like Poseidon got into architecture and really committed to the aesthetic. Inside, though, it's pure aquatic chaos, in the best way. The Shedd houses thousands of animals from oceans, rivers, and lakes around the world. Sharks glide through massive tanks. Beluga whales swim in Arctic exhibits. And the Caribbean Reef, one of the original exhibits, still stuns visitors with its circular tank where fish orbit like living confetti. But Shedd has also had its share of moments. There have been penguin field trips. Yes, literal penguins waddling through the building for enrichment walks. During severe winter storms, staff have slept inside the aquarium to care for animals when Chicago shut down. And during one famous period, the aquarium closed to the public and the penguins were allowed to explore. They investigated exhibits. They stared at fish. They judged everyone. Honestly, same. The Shedd isn't just a tourist stop. It's part of Chicago's identity. Sitting right on the lakefront, it blends the natural world with the skyline, reminding visitors that even in the middle of a massive city, the ocean is never as far away as it seems. Well, emotionally. Geographically, it's still very far. But step inside the Shedd, and suddenly you're surrounded by coral reefs, Arctic waters, and creatures from the deep. It's part museum, part time machine, part underwater adventure. And somehow, in the middle of the Midwest, it works. Osaka Aquarium, the most artistic aquarium on Earth. Some aquariums try to show you fish. The Osaka Aquarium tries to show you the planet. Located in Osaka, Japan, this aquarium, often called Kaiyukan, isn't just one of the largest in the world, it's also one of the most visually stunning. Walking inside feels less like entering a building and more like stepping into a slow-moving documentary about Earth itself. Because the entire aquarium is designed around one idea, the Pacific Ocean. Visitors start at the top floor and slowly spiral downward around a massive central tank. As you walk, each level represents a different region of the Pacific Rim, from Japanese forests to Antarctic ice, tropical reefs to the deep sea. It's like taking a world tour without ever leaving the building. And at the center of it all is the main tank, a towering, multi-story ocean column filled with rays, sharks, schools of fish, and the undeniable star of the show, the whale shark. Yes, another whale shark. But this one lives in a tank designed like an underwater cathedral. The scale is hard to describe. The tank stretches multiple stories tall, with enormous viewing windows that make visitors feel tiny. Light filters down through the water like sunlight through the real ocean. Fish drift past in slow motion. People go quiet without meaning to. It's less like watching an exhibit and more like watching a living painting. But the Osaka Aquarium is also known for its thoughtful design and animal care. Exhibits are built to mimic entire ecosystems rather than just displaying animals in isolation. You'll see sea otters playing, jellyfish floating in minimalist glowing rooms, and deep-sea creatures that look like they were designed by a science fiction writer. And then there's the spiral path. Instead of moving from room to room, visitors gently descend through the building, circling the main tank as they go. Each lap reveals new angles, new animals, new details. It's strangely meditative. By the time you reach the bottom, you feel like you've traveled thousands of miles underwater. Also, there's a gift shop. Because of course there is. But the Osaka Aquarium stands out for a reason. It doesn't just show you marine life. It shows you how everything connects. Ocean currents, ecosystems, regions of the world. It's science, architecture, and art, all working together to create one giant, immersive experience. And somewhere in that massive tank, a whale shark drifts past again, completely unbothered by the fact that hundreds of humans are standing there, staring. Honestly, goals. The weirdest aquarium animals ever displayed. Aquariums are full of beautiful creatures, graceful, elegant, majestic. And then there are the weird ones. Every major aquarium has at least one animal that makes visitors stop, stare, and quietly ask, "Is that supposed to look like that?" Let's start with the blobfish. Yes, it's real. Yes, it looks like a melting stress ball. And yes, it somehow became the unofficial mascot of "I woke up like this." In the deep ocean, blobfish actually look fairly normal. But when brought to the surface, the pressure change turns them into the internet's saddest mascot. Some aquariums have displayed deep-sea relatives of blobfish, and visitors often walk away equal parts fascinated and emotionally concerned. Then there's the giant isopod. Imagine a pill bug. Now imagine it the size of a house cat. These deep-sea crustaceans look like armored alien Roombas and have become surprise celebrities at aquariums around the world. One famous isopod in Japan went viral after refusing to eat for years. Visitors kept showing up just to watch it not eat. Honestly, relatable. Next up, the mantis shrimp. Small, colorful, adorable. Also capable of punching with the speed of a bullet. Mantis shrimp have one of the fastest strikes in the animal kingdom, able to crack shells and even aquarium glass if not housed properly. Some aquariums keep them in specially reinforced tanks because, quite frankly, they are tiny underwater superheroes with anger management issues. And we cannot forget the octopus. Octopuses are brilliant, curious, and absolutely not interested in staying where you put them. There have been multiple documented aquarium escapes over the years. One octopus in New Zealand famously left its tank at night, crawled across the floor, and slipped into a drain pipe leading back to the ocean. No note, no explanation, just gone. Other aquariums have reported octopuses opening jars, unscrewing lids, and generally behaving like underwater masterminds plotting their eventual freedom. Then there are the deep-sea creatures that look like they were designed during a very strange brainstorming session. Transparent fish, vampire squid, jellyfish that glow like neon lamps, creatures with bioluminescent lures dangling from their heads like built-in fishing rods. The deeper you go in the ocean, the weirder it gets. And aquariums give us a rare chance to see these animals without, descending 2 miles underwater in a metal tube. Which is great for us, and probably confusing for them. Because somewhere inside a carefully designed tank, a creature that evolved in total darkness is now being admired by a group of humans holding popcorn and pointing. Aquariums are windows into another world. A weird world. A slightly unsettling world. And honestly, we love it. Monterey Bay Aquarium, where the ocean meets Hollywood. If the Georgia Aquarium is massive and Osaka is artistic, then Monterey Bay Aquarium is cinematic. Perched right on the edge of the Pacific Ocean in California, this aquarium doesn't just display marine life, it practically borrows it from the sea outside. In fact, Monterey Bay Aquarium was built on the site of an old sardine cannery, right on the shoreline. Which means instead of trucking in all their seawater, they can pump it directly from the ocean. Fresh, cold, authentic. It's basically farm to table, but for fish. From the moment you walk in, the place feels different. Sunlight filters through massive windows. Kelp forests sway gently in towering tanks. Waves crash outside while sea otters float inside like they own the place, which, honestly, they do. The kelp forest exhibit is one of the most famous in the world. It's tall, swaying, and hypnotic. Real kelp grows inside the tank, stretching upward toward the light, while fish weave through it like an underwater forest scene from a nature documentary. Because it literally is one. Monterey Bay Aquarium has been featured in countless documentaries and even helped inspire the animation and realism behind ocean scenes in films. If an underwater shot looks stunning in a nature film, there's a decent chance Monterey had something to do with it. And then there are the sea otters. These fluffy chaos noodles float on their backs, spin in circles, crack shells on their stomachs, and generally behave like they're auditioning for a comedy series. They're also a major conservation success story. Once nearly wiped out by hunting, sea otters are now carefully rehabilitated and protected, and Monterey has played a huge role in that effort. But the aquarium isn't just cute animals and pretty tanks. It's a major center for marine research and conservation. Scientists here study ocean health, climate change, and endangered species, all while visitors wander through exhibits eating snacks shaped like fish. It's a strange but effective combination. And then there's the open sea exhibit, a massive, deep blue tank filled with tuna, sharks, and schools of fish moving like underwater storms. The scale is mesmerizing. You stand in front of it and feel very small, in the best possible way. What makes Monterey special is its connection to the real ocean outside its walls. Step outside and you're looking at the same waters that fill the tanks inside. Sea lions bark in the distance. Waves crash against the shoreline. It's less like visiting an aquarium and more like visiting the ocean's living room, which might explain why people leave feeling oddly calm, a little quieter, a little more aware of the world beneath the waves. And maybe also wanting a sea otter. Understandable. Why we keep building oceans indoors. Aquariums are kind of unbelievable when you think about it. We build entire oceans inside buildings, just so we can stand there and watch something swim by. We've seen tanks the size of stadiums, whale sharks in city centers, penguins on hallway adventures, octopuses plotting their escape. Some aquariums are peaceful, some are chaotic. All of them are tiny windows into a world most of us will never fully explore. Because beneath the surface of this planet is an ocean that's still mysterious, still strange, and still full of creatures that look completely unreal. And somehow, we brought pieces of it indoors. So next time you're at an aquarium, pause for a second, stand in front of the glass. Let the world slow down. Thanks for diving into Nature with Ray. If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, and follow for more weird stories from nature and history. And tell me in the comments, what's the coolest aquarium you've ever visited? Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.